Hey guys, Dale here, back with some more Gravship blueprints here at Odyssey Station. And looks a little different today. I have the ships off map, except we do have this structure down here. If you guys check out the community page, you probably can assume what this is. Today we are going to be taking a look at a Galaxy-class starship from Star Trek. This is the ship that the Enterprise-D from the Next Generation was, and this is the saucer section for a version of the ship that is a modular build. So let's take a look at the plans real quick. I have the plans with all the junk in them. I actually made two different versions. So there's this silhouette that is just a complete whole grav ship. No gimmicks. Just build it. This is where the grav engine goes. You put two grav extenders up here, you put two back here, and then you put two somewhere around here. And that should get you, if you filled in all these blocks, it would get you 2001 tiles. And so I'll show you guys where I subtract a tile. It's a little cheesy, but I think this is a pretty good silhouette for the Galaxy class. And then this one is a Galaxy class that has it. We're offset by a tile, but they're exactly the same silhouette. But I have done a little extra planning so that you can have the modular saucer section. So the extenders are going to go in the same places. The grav core is going to go in the same place. And then all of these black boxes indicate that that is the saucer section. So if you were to uninstall this grav core and this grav core, then you would be able to separate from the saucer section and then have the star drive section. So I have these ships flying in. We'll take a look at them. Okay, so we have this guy popping in. We will confirm our landing. Pause the game so we don't get the second one in here yet. So this is what it looks like. We have Apollo and Starbuck watching some TV in the bridge, but I guess we'll start back here. We do have the full amount of thrusters on this guy, so 6 large thrusters and 2 small thrusters. We have 6 of the thrusters in the back, and then we have 4 of them up here on the saucer section. With the nacelles, I have done some painting, so everything's been painted white. I can't remember if they had like the beige carpet or not in the Enterprise. I'll have to like go back and actually watch the Next Generation, like take a look at the floor. I know that they had a bunch of like wood trim and all kinds of stuff, but I just went with like a limestone colored floor. In addition to the paint, these lights in the nacelles are actually blue, and this is set to red. So same thing over here. We're using the nacelles for solar power. We didn't roof that over. It's just dark in there. Oh, it's because of the blue light, I think. Left nacelle, we are using as kind of like a mech bay. So we have a bunch of charging stations in there. Back here at the back of the ship, we have some mech gestators. We have some of the facilities for creating the parts that we would need to gestate mechanoids. A little bit of storage. We do have a shuttle here in the back as well. And you can see this is where I have removed that single tile. So this ends up being a 2000 out of 2000 build. A little cheesy, but I didn't know where else to take the tile from. On the right nacelle, we have a bunch of storage, and then we have a small genetics laboratory. Of course, you could swap this out for whatever you want. We'll take a look at the power grid. We are 75, almost 7,600 watts over, basically, and that's with a set of hydroponics. We have 20 hydroponics going. We have most of the facilities for our workshop, so smelting, smithing, woodworking, stone cutting, art, electric, tailoring, machining, and fabrication. We also do have 2 biofuel refineries hanging out in there. We have storage throughout, and in addition to the solar generators, we have quite a few GravCore power cells in this build. So let's take a look. We have 11 on this ship, and that's kind of got us in a steady state. So if you had more GravCore generators, actually, at this point, that's 30. You could probably get rid of like half these solar panels and be fine in current state. If you had more GravCore generators, power cells, then you could definitely utilize the cells for something other than being a big source of power for you. All the beds are set to slave beds right now. That's just so they don't like sleep in here, but if we take a look, this does sleep quite a few people. 32 single beds and then 4 double beds. We don't have a dedicated brig right now, but you could just add a door to kind of like any of these corridors if you wanted to set up a brig or a prison. And I have kind of like embedded these bunks into the walls. Lower deck style is kind of like what I say whenever I do this. So we have like a little barrack down here. We have another over here, and we have another over here. It's all actually the same room. And because it's all the same room, it is extremely impressive. We have a research facility here, so bench and microanalyzer. Opposite side, we have our medical bay where we're storing some steel instead of some medicine. Just a couple hospital beds, but you know, you could stick 4 more in here. You could take over this room and really kind of like extend the med bay out, whatever you guys would like to do with the space in here. Towards the back center of the saucer section, we do have our bridge, our pilot console here. We have a couple fuel optimizers. We have pilot sub-persona cores, comms consoles. There is a chair under Starbuck, so a little captain's seat, and we put a lot of our power cells in the bridge. Just above the bridge, we have this is all one room, right? Yeah, so these hoppers do not close it off, but we have a dual kitchen / butchering room / nutrient paste area and food storage. It is refrigerated. We are doing hold a door open trick, so if we take a look at this, that's all roofed, and that's so that we can keep it oxygenated. Wow. Keep it pressurized for our pawns if they're going to be doing some cooking or butchering work in here. At the very front of the ship, we have our like little 10 forward type area. This is very much a multi-purpose room. It is a rec room, it is dining, and it is also an ideology room. So we have our ideogram here. We also have a lectern, and we put a steel door in the interaction spot for the nutrient paste. So the nutrient paste is not part of this room, but pawns will still go get nutrient paste there. And that makes it just fine for our ideogram. If this door weren't here, this is considered a work facility and our pawns would be unhappy. In addition to all of this recreation facility, we have 4 tables for dining. Not 4, we have 6. 2 of them with 4 chairs, and then a couple that are kind of like bar style. And then off to the sides, we have a couple unroofed areas with back doors that have our signal jammer and our orbital scanner. With this guy, we had to kind of like take up a lot of our space along the saucer section to work out like the starve drive section. So let's go ahead and unpause the game and we will see how the star drive section connects in here. We have a few doors that we need to line up, and then we will see how things go. Ooh, you know what? My ship disappeared. I guess you can't fly 2 ships at the same time. I guess I'm gonna reload and we will come back and take a look at it. Well, they haven't taken off yet, but this is our modular Galaxy class. So this is the back end of the ship. This is the star drive section that would connect over into that saucer section that we have here on our main map. Hilo, you're the one that's flying this one. Yep. I haven't filled all this one out, so with this one, I actually built it, right? Or the constructoids built it. With this one, I just dev moded it in so that I wouldn't have to sit there and watch them build it for a very, very long time. Of course, with it kind of like more open and empty, you can kind of like see what you might use these rooms for. There is actually quite a bit of space in here. So same little trick, we did go ahead and remove the tile here. It's the shuttle bay. It's going to be depressurized anyway, so it's not a big deal. But for the most part, I did fill this out pretty similarly. So all the workbenches are the same. We have the same number of hydroponic basins. That being said, here in the star drive section, we don't have any double beds. So star drive section has 8 single beds. We don't have large space for a med bay, so we have 2 small med bays, and I've set them to not hospital beds and to be for prisoners. So these med bays are doing double duty as potentially prison. And then we have outfitted the star drive section with a lot of turrets because that was the idea. So they only did it like maybe twice in the next generation, but the saucer section with the families, with the civilian, the non-Starfleet crew, I don't know if they have warp, but they have at least impulse. They're able to separate from the back end of the ship, and basically the civilians can kind of like get out of danger. Whereas like the star drive section with engineering could then kind of like engage in combat, right? And so that's why I built it out this way, to be something that you would like separate. You know, maybe you have a nursery in here, maybe you have like your non-combat pods in here, but you leave these guys and then you take this guy and you point your guns at whatever it is you're flying into. So we have 23 mini turrets, 6 autocannon turrets, and then we have 4 uranium slug turrets on this guy. You could fit more turrets in here if you took out the barricades. You could fit more of the bigger ones in here as well if you took those barricades out. But you can see here that I do have the grav field extenders just forbidden in the spot that they would be installed at in order to make the full connection on the ship. So if we take a look at this, we have most of our extenders back here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And so we are getting extra build area back here. But here at the front end of the ship, this is just the build area for the grav engine itself. So that's kind of like where I made that distinction. I felt like it was wedge-shaped enough that it looked like the star drive. The star drive, like when it disconnects, it is the neck of the ship disconnecting from the saucer, but there's also this really strange angular wedge shape that's on top of it. Let's get these guys to go home and connect to the ship. Oh, that gets you guys to be undrafted. That's cool. Let's go ahead and get moving. Okay, not too far. Oh, we just parked that ship out in space. We didn't set up a new base or anything. This is where we've been keeping the modular ships. The other spot that we have is where we've been keeping the other ships. So we can kind of see the doors here. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it a little closer. Oh, you know what? We can't land here because there's nothing underneath. Okay, we'll fix that just for this episode, but something for you guys to be aware of is that you can separate from your ship without being able to reconnect to it. We need to do dev mode. We need to grab space. We need orbital platform. Where's the middle here? Okay. We'll just extend it like that. So do make sure that you have something for it to land on in order to uh, get your star drive section reconnected with your ship. So if we zoom in, you can see we have doors that are lining up with doors on either side. We're going to go ahead and confirm. And for this one, we might have even more grav power cells. Let's take a look. We have, 11. I guess we don't have even more. We do have 2 that are dedicated to the saucer section, and that seems to be enough to power the limited things that need power in the saucer section. It's like nutrient paste, a couple coolers, some lights, and oxygen. Should probably actually throw some heaters in here. Just realizing that I didn't do that. So if we take a look at this, we have 20 beds. We do have hospital beds that we are serving dual purpose as a brig, but just like the previous ship, you could throw a door here and make one of these areas your brig. We do still have 4 double beds for officers. They're just located in the saucer section. And we did have to kind of like push some things up and push some things over. So 10 forward's a little smaller. The pews are kind of like jammed a little tighter together. But for the most part, not too affected. We did lose our science lab. We lost some space for our med bay. We lost some extra like beds that we had here. But everything else is just fine. So these plans will be up on not Discord, they'll be up on GitHub. They're on GitHub right now. You'll have access to just the silhouette versions if you want them, and then you'll have access to the loud, noisy versions that have all my extra planning so that if you want your ship to be exactly how I've planned it, you're able to do that. Let me take a look real quick. I didn't, in the extra planning, I didn't put any planning for kind of the work facilities that I have in the back of the ship. And that's because like, if you're not into having a mechanitor, then maybe you want all of this to be a genetics lab, or if you're not into any of the biotech stuff, maybe you want it to be anomaly containment. I don't think you could fit containment in here unless you took some of the solar panels out. You could definitely fit a couple creatures back here, but you know, all of this is up for grabs and interpretation. And if you guys are using these plans to make cool ships, I would love to see them. So definitely post them on Reddit, email them to me, send me the link. But bye-bye for now. And as always, until next time, have a good one. Bye.